Hello! Okay, so in week 10 we're going to be taking the skills that we've developed throughout the unit already and apply those in some science related contexts. So what we're going to do over this week and next week actually is look at some of the maths and the terminology involving triangles. So believe it or not, triangles can be really useful in problem solving, and you'll come across them in many areas related to the science and ICT fields, or you'll use those ideas in different applications, and we'll look at those next week as well. So we're going to start off by looking at Pythagoras' theorem. So this allows us to find out the lengths of the sides of a right-angled triangle. So again, it's thinking about the terminology, knowing the words that we use to describe triangles, knowing some of the rules when we're dealing with triangles that can make problem solving a little bit easier. And in particular, what we want to do here is practice those skills of taking a worded problem, turning it into a mathematical equation, and then being able to solve it. So you'll notice that on your formula sheet, which you can now download on Milo, that I actually give you the equations. I give you Pythagoras' theorem, I give you the other equations involved with triangles and trigonometry as well. But I don't tell you what the pronumerals in those equations stand for. So it's really important that we can take a worded problem, we can select the right equation, and we can choose the information from the worded problem and match it up to the right pronumeral to be able to substitute and solve. So really any of these problems that we do over the next couple of weeks when we're dealing with things related to triangles and trigonometry, probably one of the most important things that I could get you to do is to say that you need to make sure you draw a diagram, a well-labelled clear diagram, before you try and solve the problems. If you get the diagram right, 99% of the time you're going to get the maths and the solution right as well. So in the second of this week's lectures, we move on. We're still going to be looking at right-angled triangles, but now not only are we going to look at the length of the sides, we're going to look at the size of the angles within those triangles. So we know that one of the angles is going to be 90 degrees. It's what values, what amounts we have for the other angles inside the triangle. So for this, we'll use the trig ratios. So that's the sine ratio, the cosine or the cos ratio for short, and tan or tangent ratio. So these ratios allow us to calculate the angles of a triangle if we know the lengths of the sides, or if we know an angle within the triangle, we can work out the length of the sides by going backwards. So again, this is all about drawing a good labelled clear diagram, identifying the names that we give to the different parts of the diagram. You'll be able to follow that through in the notes. Being able to substitute into the correct formula, so choosing the right formula to use, putting your values in, and then following through the rearranging and the calculating. So you will need your scientific calculator for these ones, so that you've got your sine, cos and tan buttons on there, and you'll also need the inverse of those. So in the notes it shows you what you're looking for on your calculator to be able to do the opposite of the tan ratio, the cos ratio, or the sine ratio, and you might need that if you need to find the angle within a triangle. So hopefully you've got all the skills that you need to be able to solve these problems. It's just a matter of learning the terminology and, as I said, how to label the diagrams correctly. If you can get that far, you should find that rearranging and solving is skills that you've already got. So enjoy this week, and we'll carry on with some more work on triangles next week. See you then.